Other side of the high table here. First, I want to introduce as the chairman of 18 people like this outside Ojo end of Lagos State. But when you find on the other side, so rejoice with your brother chairman on this auspicious occasion. The next chairman I want to introduce to you is the man they used to call the senior chairman of Nigeria. I once cracked a joke about my next guest that before January there's a former chairman of this is the chairman of the body. When I was introducing, I want them to meet you. Next to the Virgin of is a young Lord. Just be satisfied with my absence because you cannot fail to notice it. It is the Virgin of at about 11 o'clock, but that was too early for this Arua. Introduce, link words together, but the government. Please welcome your guests.
For me to welcome Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Sir Michael Atedola, to this epoch-making occasion in the federal government. Today marks a turning. This morning, representing the Governor of Lagos State, Sir Michael Atedola. I must make a few remarks emanating from the address of the chairman of this council, Chief Pubiic. I'm highly delighted that there is a great rapport between the two political parties in this council, the SDP and the LS. It is the same understanding and rapport that is existing at the state level. The fact that you have members of the two parties in the revenue allocation board is something that is very happy to us. And this is the trend that is now going on throughout the country. It is the spirit of new. It's a great pleasure for me to be here with you on this unique occasion of the launching of the Kenya local government bus transit. You will recall that I launched the State Jubilee Line bus mass transit about a week ago. The Jubilee Line buses will be operated by members of the Lagos State Transport Unions and Associations. Today's occasion, no doubt, is a unique one, being my maiden speech to Ikeja local government since I received the mandate of the people to be the governor of this noble state in January this year. It is also a unique one in the sense that it is the first time in history that Ikeja local government would embark on this type of capital-intensive and laudable venture. I therefore rejoice with the citizens of Ikeja local government area for the launching of the bus transit system today. Are made to decongest the roads within Ikeja local government. The turnaround.
What? God! See this my they waste my tables. I know God.
Yeah.
This one called
Mr. Peter Onono, a fellow of the Institute, Public Relations Advisor of the Nigerian Breweries. Dr. Chuks Gosuji, Council Member and Chairman of the Imo State NIPR. Mr. President, who is the other one? Mr. Bankole Akinyemi. A professor in quotes. There's only one recognized professor here this morning.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Executive Governor of Lagos State, Sir Michael, Chairman of Local Governments, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First, I have to receive the apology. I apologize profusely for starting late. Second, I remind you that the most powerful creature is the woman. Whether she's a housewife, a girlfriend, or a colleague. Actually, nature is a joke, but it's a fact. Nature is an artist. And we say that any artist, before you start drawing, you have to make a sketch. After making the sketch, if the sketch is fine, you then go into details. Man was the first sketch. Down there, up, where the male is left, is bigger than the man. The lady, I went back to my seat. It is a great honor and privilege for me to welcome this distinguished assembly to the annual general meeting of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Lagos State Chapter. First, our patron, Sir Chief Michael A. Otedola, the 9th Executive Governor of Lagos State, a key pioneer member, a distinguished fellow of the Institute, and a Knight of St. Sylvester, the Pope. Secondly, the Honorable Minister of Information, Professor Sam Oyobere, through who elects our peace-loving governor on the occasion of his 66th birthday. For information of this audience, our diamond patron, Sir Michael Otedola, became younger by 1 additional year on the 16th July and trouble-free tenure of office. You have started well. You will serve a second term, and you will end very, very well. we believe that if vigorously pursued, all the programs of the administration, as spelled out at the beginning, will usher in an era of progress and development for Lagos State and its people. We are happy that your laudable objectives are being nursed under an atmosphere of peace and concord, social and industrial activities. In spite of the recent movement of our national capital to Abuja, Lagos still remains the national and international meeting point and harbinger of all diverse ethno-religious and cultural groups. The Institute will therefore like to congratulate all those eminent Nigerians and foreign friends who have contributed to the growth, progress, and well-being of the state. We urge them to continue to do so with greater zeal and vigor under the present administration. We want to thank the governor immensely and most sincerely for the promised piece of land or building for our chapter secretariat. Thank you in advance. We equally thank the Federal Minister of Information for the handsome donation he sent to us for this AGM. I'm sure you'd like to, if you want to, I don't stop you from starting. The other donations to the chapter have been acknowledged in the program which you have. May God replenish the sources of all those donations. Paradoxically, our institute is 28 years old, while the state only celebrated the 25 years of its creation on May 27. That means that the institute is older than Lagos State. According to Chief Victor Shinowo, sitting down here, the pioneer chairman of our Lagos State chapter, our patron was one of those publications, quote, group of men and women who in 1963 got themselves together and started discussing the possibility of forming a sort of an association. I'm quoting from Victor Shinowo's introduction, which was in last year's AGM program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is gratifying to note that Sir Michael Otedola, as the Public Relations Affairs Manager of Mobile Oil Company, was one of those yearly founders of the NIPR, and that his office in Mobile Company along Broad Street served as the meeting point of practitioners. We also like to recall that the first NIPR National Oil Seminar was initiated, planned, and executed by President Petron. We recall that when on Tuesday, 26 May 1992, a delegation of the state chapter visited the governor to congratulate him on his election and assumption of office, he looked around and remarked that none of the early pioneers of the institute was present. He was referring, of course, to the group of men, quote unquote, such as Adjutant Moore, Chief Carol Connery, Chief Dr. Okubanjo, Ogbuefi Alex Nwoke, late Sam Epele, the pioneer president, Mr. Tony Willie, and host of others. We are happy that people like Victor Shinowo, first Lagos State Chairman, Ogbuefi Alex Nwoke, the pioneer Secretary General of NIPR, Co-General Manager, Public Affairs Department of NNPC, and still part of our institute today. Let us all resolve to help the governor build a state that will continue to be a beacon of light and a model to all other states and the federation. On behalf of the Executive Committee and entire members of our institute, I express our appreciation to all those who honored our invitation to this ceremony. We are particularly grateful to Mr. Governor, the Federal Minister of Information, the Commissioners and high-ranking officials of government, and others for the honor they have done us today. May God bless you all. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite the President of NIPR, Mr. Michael Okereke, to address you. Thank you very much.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations welcome our two honored guests to this function. First, the governor is part of us, being a foundation member of this institute. Secondly, the Federal Minister of Information is part of us, being the chief image maker of the federal government. We are here today for a dual ceremony which marks the installation of His Excellency as the patron of the Institute and also the formal opening ceremony of the AGM of the Lagos State Chapter of the Institute. The Council and members of NIPL are proud to be blessed with two state governors, Sir Michael Otedola and Mr. Clement Ebre, the governor of Cross River State. They are all members of us. We of the Institute cannot have more. From 30 governors, the profession has got two. That's a fair share, isn't it? Our policy and long-standing tradition is to have the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as our grand patron and all state governors as patrons. In January this year, we went to Abuja where we installed the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Ibrahim Babangida, as the grand patron of the Institute. Today, we will be installing the Governor of Lagos State, Sir Michael Otedola, as patron of our Institute. And we feel very honored that His Excellency is here with us to the publications of this register. Only those members whose names are here in the register of members will be allowed to practice. Members are advised in their own interest to check within this week with the Secretariat to ensure that their subscriptions are up to date. I repeat, that your subscriptions are up to date. If they are not up to date, we will not publish your names. The Institute has intensified its international relations program and has established firm relationship with international bodies. We serve as members of Council of the International Public Relations Association, IPRA, and the Nigerian is the current chairman of the Federation of the Public Relations Association, the Federation of African Public Relations Association, PAPA. A Nigerian delegation of the Institute led by the President attended the World Congress of the International Public Relations Association in Toronto. In November this year, last year, Public Relations Conference of the FAPRA, which is scheduled to be held in Abidjan from 27th to 29th of September. All members of the Institute are invited. Your Institute has continued to attach a great importance to research and development. To this end, we have published the first professional paper, Public Relations and the Law, and we hope to conduct a comprehensive research on public relations profession by the end of the year. Your Institute attaches a great deal of importance on the welfare of members. It is for this reason that a special committee has been created to look at members' welfare. The committee is working out plans that will be tabled before the Council. In the meantime, your Council is examining the possibility of having a comprehensive fleet policy and accident insurance scheme for members at reduced cost. Negotiations will be entered with hotels and other buying centers for special discounts for those carrying the NIPR card. Your Institute has been focusing attention on national issues through its conferences. In 1989, the Port Harcourt Conference discussed public relations in a transitional period. In 1990, we discussed the war in transition at our Commonwealth Public Relations.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Sir Michael Otedola, the President and members of Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, the Chairman, members of the Executive of the Lagos State Chapter of the NIPR, veterans of public relations, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thought I was going to do something, and I didn't know that the says that immediately after my remarks, and their remarks, not an address, there will be a citation of His Excellency. And I had thought that I should do my own citation first. The privilege that suddenly me into knowing more than I used to know. Since then, I am told I have become a member of the Association of Museums and Monuments until this morning. That before you, the President said that I am one of you. I think, Mr. Governor, I wish to thank you for coming to this forum, because the NIPR is in certain respect an extension of my ministry. It's an autonomous body with all its standards and ethics. And yet, because it is a public organ, it's a public institution, government does have objective interest in its operations. It's my pleasure that I join the NIPR. Welcome you, sir. The only few remarks I wish to make is that each time I am brought face to face to areas in this society and economy that I didn't know before, I began to go back to my postgraduate course in elements of development. How do you measure that a society is developing or has developed? One of the single items I normally hold as a constant variable is that the more pluralism, the more multiple sources of power that exist in society, the more you begin to feel the development of that nation. And this country is great for the pluralism that it has got. NIPR seems to me like the others that I have had the privilege of relating to as one of the very many indicators of the development we are going through in this country. We have just been told that as a body it is older than Lagos State. We've just been told that it has a register. We've just been told that the institute maintains standards and ethics. We've just been told that it is determined to enforce those standards and ethics. We've just been told that there are doyens, there are veterans, there are second, third, and fourth generation NIPR people. So it is not just a profession, it's also an industry. And when you begin to put many of these kinds of associations together in our country, you would know, you begin to feel, as I feel, because I know quite a lot, at least at the academic level, that this country is not just developing, it has developed. It is my pleasure to be associated with the NIPR. And just as I stood by Mazi Okereke in Abuja when
they graciously granted Mr. President as Grand Patron. I knew the moment I took over from a fellow and a former president of this association as minister, the moment I knew that Mr. President is the Grand Patron of this association, and now I begin to know more and more, including Sir Michael Otedola, then I assure you the ministry has no option but to continue to be helpful to the NIC. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much, and before the citation of His Excellency, may I congratulate you, sir. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with utmost humility that I stand here today to read the citation of a very distinguished Nigerian, Sir Michael Otedola. Today, we salute a man who heads Nigeria's most populous and richest state. Today, we are honoring a man whose talents have portrayed him as a first-class administrator, business executive, and public relations guru. Today, we are recognizing a man whose success story reflects very special personal attributes of intelligence, drive, courage, hard work, and resilience. Sir Michael Otedola was born 66 years ago on the 16th day of July 1926 at Odoramushi, in the present Ekpe local government area of Lagos State. He received his early education at Odoramushi, Lagos, and Kaduna, and completed his secondary education at St. Leo's College, Abeokuta. After a stint as a teacher at St. Leo's College, Abeokuta, Sir Michael Otedola traveled to the United Kingdom to study for a degree in journalism at the Regent Street Polytechnic, now the Polytechnic of Central London, from where he graduated with a diploma in journalism in 1958. Sir Michael Otedola is now the Executive Governor of Lagos State. But before we look at his ascendancy to the helm of affairs of the most populous, richest, and most progressive state in Nigeria, we will recall the various positions he has held. He served as a news reporter with the Pancras Chronicle in London, where he won the Mayor of London Borough of St. Pancras commendation for scintillating reportage. He was also a reporter with the Guardian newspaper in Manchester, England, sub-editor of the foreign desk of the London Times, and he also served in the team of Hansard editors in the British House of Commons in 1959. On his return to his fatherland, Sir Michael Otedola served his nation in many capacities. He was the editor of Western Nigeria, Nigerian Illustrated, information officer in the Western Region Public Service, public relations manager of WNTV and WNPS, and Manager, Public Affairs Division, Mobile Group of Companies, from where he retired and was invited because of his impeccable credentials and wide-ranging experience to become its public affairs consultant. Public offices in which he has served include ex-member of the John F. Kennedy Memorial Essay Contest, Lagos State, Young Men Christian Association Board of Management, National Council of the Young Men Christian Association, and Board of the Pacelli School for the Blind. He has also served on the Board of Governors of St. Joseph's Teacher Training College, Surulere, Broadcasting Association of Nigeria, Ekpe Division Cattle Dealers Association, but that's news for you, the cattle bearer. Rotary Club of Ekpe, Lions Club of Ekpe, and Association of Ekpe Clubs. He has also directed and supervised the production of 2 publications on Nigerian arts and culture, namely The Living Arts of Nigeria and The Living Culture of Nigeria. It did not take very long for the numerous achievements of this unique Nigerian and illustrious son of Ekpe to be recognized across international borders. And so, in 1974, His Holiness Pope Paul VI made him a Knight of St. Sylvester. In 1978, another feather was added to his cap when the Lagos State government honored him with a special commendation award. In further recognition of his leadership traits, the people of Ekpe made him the Ashiwaju of Odora Mushi. Honorable Minister, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Sir Michael Otojola is a member of several professional bodies in Nigeria and abroad. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Member of the British Institute of Public Relations, member of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, member of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, member of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as well as the Nigeria-British Chamber of Commerce. He is also a member of 2 prominent and prestigious social clubs, the Metropolitan and Island Clubs in Lagos. What is more, Sir Michael Otedola has played a very active part on the stage of boardroom politics. In this direction, he served on the boards of Impact Limited, International Converters of Nigeria Limited, as well as Premier Finance and Trust Company Limited. He is also a director of Partners Industries and Nigerian Lamps Industries Limited. In spite of his very busy schedule as an administrator and businessman, Sir Otedola still finds time for an active religious life. He is involved in work for his church and charitable organizations. He will always tell you that he puts God first in everything he does. And there lies the source of this great man's exemplary humility, modesty, and purposeful leadership. He is also a philanthropist par excellence and champion of the masses, for whom he endowed the Michael Otedola University Scholarship Award Scheme, which has been responsible for educating an appreciable number of indigent state citizens. Sir Michael has found a happy balance between his business and professional pursuits and a devotion to his family. His dear wife, Mrs. Doja Otedola, a professional woman in her own right and a dedicated mother, is the woman behind this great man. We salute today a man with a past to be proud of and a future that will surely be crowned with glory. We salute today a man of courage whose lifestyle of honesty and integrity is a shining example for the youth and budding entrepreneurs in our great country. We salute today a public relations guru whose achievements will be permanently recorded on the pages of the history of public relations and management in Nigeria for generations yet unborn. Honorable Minister, Mr. Chairman, the President of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Sir Michael Agbolade Otedola, teacher, veteran journalist, fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Knight of St. Sylvester, author, director of several companies, the Ashiwaju of Odora Gushi, philanthropist, and executive governor of Lagos State for investiture as patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I feel very delighted to perform this task. I remember many years ago, it was in the 60s, I was then the chairman of the chapter of the Eastern States LIPR, and we were holding a conference in Enugu, precisely Hotel Presidential. We got Sir Michael Otedola to come to Enugu to come and present the paper at that conference. Today, I feel very honored as someone whose expertise was recognized many years ago is today at the pinnacle of the public relations career. So, whereas the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and its predecessors was established in 1963 as the professional body for all qualified public relations practitioners in Nigeria, whereas the federal government of Nigeria, through the Public Relations Decree number 16 of 1990, vested on the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations the power to accredit and register qualified public relations practitioners in Nigeria and to promote, develop, regulate the arts and science of public relations practice in Nigeria by the establishment and prescription of high standards of professional and ethical practice and the promotion and education, the conduct of research, and the admission and classification of public relations practitioners into various professional grades. Whereas the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations was established to provide facilities, advice, and opportunities for executives to build and extend knowledge of the practice of public relations. Whereas the Council of the Institute is empowered Nigerians who have made outstanding contributions and given to the development of public relations practices in Nigeria as patrons. And the Council has reserved the position of Grand Patron of NIBR, Tedola, and exemplary governor, a guru of the public relations profession, an excellent administrator, and the Chief Public Relations Executive of the Lagos State Government, having achieved eminence through his contributions and support for the development of public relations practice in government, and having been concerned with the promotion of good relations between the government and the citizens of Lagos State, I, therefore, Michael Kurombo Okeke, President, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, acting with the authority of the Council, to invest you, Sir Michael Agbolade Otedola, a distinguished governor of Lagos State, as the patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, with all the rights and privileges applicable thereto.
Please, can we have a big round of applause for the governor? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Jerry Gama will say, if you are a director, you direct well. I am a director and I know I direct well. My beautiful colleague here is a commander, and she commands better.
Actually applies to just Mr. Governor. Could you be kind enough to close your eyes? And pray for me.
Hey, what?
We are still praying, sir.
Yeah, the governor is still praying, please. By the way, Sir Michael Agbolade Otedola was precisely 30 years old when I was born.
Still praying.
I command you to open your eyes. So we'll cut the cake together. First lady for 5 minutes. Yeah. And the minister, please join us. My president, please join us. No other person is welcome except my chairman. Easy does it. 1, 2, 3, and go! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear governor! Happy birthday to you! One more time! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear governor!
chair to the governor. Hip, hip, hip! Hooray! Hip, hip, hip! Hooray! Hip, hip, hip! Hooray! Thank you very much.
For my father.
That has been the surprise party for the governor from the NIPR members. We are running to the end of the first half of this program, and that is the governor's keynote address.
And raise on what I did not bargain for when I left my wife. I was going on my daily routine, but will be attending first the annual general meeting of this distinguished body. What you have done today is similar but surpassed what civil servants did on Thursday the 16th, when I thought I was going to the office as usual, that it was just another Thursday. Not a single bottle of cold call, anything was prepared for the occasion. It was just another day. But when I got to the office, I found that a huge guard of honor had been mounted by the civil servants, plenty of cakes by various groups in the civil service, and again I was overwhelmed, and for me it was near tears of joy. Today your surprise packet gave me much delight, and just let me say I thank you very much. Because I had something in my hand that was prepared for this occasion, even though it was written by some civil servants who could not appreciate the warmth of my relationship with you, and did not even know how close I was in the formative years of the Institute. Wrote what they thought I should read. And I myself, unfortunately, did not have time to read it until about 10 minutes before departure. As is usual these days, 10-15 minutes before you left the office, would you be able to look at what you were writing? So let me tell you that it is your imagination. Honorable Minister Professor Sam Oyabare, the President of the NPR, my good friend, Mr. Mike Okerik, the Chairman of the Lagos State Chapter of the NIPR, Mr. Mofo, members of the National Council of NIPR, members of the Institute, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am very delighted to be with you this morning. And you can now see, really more than delighted. To me, it is a sort of homecoming. I need not say that anymore. Homecoming in the domain of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR. I want to use this forum to thank the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, both the national and the Lagos state bodies, for the good wishes sent to me on my election as the governor of Lagos State. I would like to thank our members who thought it fit to send me congratulatory messages. On my part, I want to put everything at my disposal, together with your unflinching support to the governance of Lagos State, so that our administration can succeed. Our success will definitely be the success of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Since people, whether you like it or not, will associate us with this distinguished professional body. Therefore, let us join hands together to use public relations for public relations. I want to especially thank the Honorable Minister for the recognition that he has given to this august body. I want to thank him specially for being here today to do you and me honor. I want to congratulate the leadership of the NIPR for the promulgation of the NIPR Practice Decree 16 of 1990 by the federal government. The decree is the outcome of many years of struggle to raise the profession to a respectable pedestal in the league of professions of law, accountancy, medicine, engineering, and so on and so forth. With this recognition, people will no longer refer to public relations as an all-common profession for intellectual deadwoods who run around as public relations practitioners. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is incumbent on us as professionals to prove ourselves relevant to our various organizations. We must note that dependency on the Institute's accreditation alone will not endear us to corporate management. We must emphatically prove that our public relations man or woman is indeed at the management level and his or her contributions cannot and must not be ignored. The fundamental elements of the practice, that is, the four-step process comprising research, planning and programming, action and communication, and evaluation, remain the foundations for a successful PR operation. Let us cultivate the habit of monitoring the new trends in the practice of PR. This is because the use of new technologies in communication and information is so overwhelming. The application of computer technology in the practice of public relations is now commonplace in most advanced countries. For example, public relations in the fundraising environment utilizes heavily computer software to handle factors ranging from database generation to maintenance of files on all involved in fundraising drive. In short, we are fortunate in PR because information-related professions benefit from such extensions of what was once restricted to quote and unquote physical space by having information at our fingertips and in hand at any given time. Some of these new technologies are word processors, electronic mail, electronic funds transfer and management, information systems management. But let me warn that any organization that wishes to benefit from these technologies would of necessity have to make heavy capital investment in both physical and human resources. It is also important to make painstaking plans for their installation in order to avoid frustrations. This will go a long way to ensure effective communication. The new technologies are needed because public relations demands and requires effective organization and flow of internal communication. Public relations has become accepted worldwide as an important part of management. Its advisory role has now been recognized, especially as it affects organizations' corporate image, corporate communication, promotion, crisis management, media relations, and the organization's social responsibility to its immediate public. Therefore, let us act professionally and maintain the highest possible standards of excellence in everything we do, especially as our motto connotes professionalism and excellence. On the part of the state government, we have long been using computers in our financial transactions. I am happy to inform you that our Bureau of Information, Tourism and Culture has installed 2 computers for its use since 1988. The state government is at present thinking of introducing computers into the newsroom of the Bureau for effective collation, packaging, processing, storage and dissemination of information on the activities of the state government. It is soul-lifting to note that the obstructive rancor which prevailed in the Institute since Makurdi 1991 had been removed. It is great to note that peace has been restored in the Institute. I want to thank all of you for the tolerance and maturity displayed so that our dear Institute can remain united and strong. I am reliably informed that election fever is gripping everyone now as elections take place later today. We must note that elected positions are always for a period of time as specified in our Constitution. As leaders, we must prepare at all times to relinquish our elected position once our followers have indicated their civic right to have a change. We must at all times think of the name of the Institute, because this Institute is greater than any individual. Permit me to use this forum to thank the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations for the assistance rendered to government during the transition period. Since we are in the last lap of the transition program, you must continue to assist the government in educating the masses so that no one does anything that will derail the program of government. I want to share an experience with you. Perhaps it is by my nature that first we lay the foundation. At the time we are laying the foundations, we are thinking ahead, getting a foundation that can sustain the